What's going on there, everyone? I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July. I hope the weather held out here in Virginia. It it got real nasty towards the end of the day, so a lot of fireworks displays were canceled. But we still had a very good time. Very good time. But let's get into some of the news that happened yesterday. This is from the Daily Caller. Revolutionary Communist Party burns two flags outside the White House. Leader arrested. It's a very short article. Notorious flag burner and defendant in the 1984, odd year for this to be happening, Supreme Court case Gregory Joey Johnson versus United States was arrested Thursday after igniting two flags outside the White House. Johnson and the Revolutionary Communist Party assembled outside the White House on the 4th of July shouting for a world without America as they ignited two flags, leading to the arrest of Johnson and other members of the party. Well, I would like to tell these people, in America, you're free to travel. You're free to leave anytime you want. So, I encourage those who believe they are communist to go to somewhere that supports communism. Head on down to Venezuela. See how they like you down there. They don't particularly care for Americans that much. So I've heard from journalists. Members of the party praised their leader for his bravery and reiterated his vision for the destruction of America, while Secret Service lead Johnson to a police car. Members of the far-right Proud Boys are not far-right, they're really not far-right, were also in attendance, speaking out against the rally. After the first flag was ignited, one person rushed into the fray to retrieve and extinguish the flaming banner. And that's pretty much the end of this story right here. But we go over here to RT, and we can see another story about protests that were happening with flag burnings. And this one, you can see the escalation and violence of these protesters. 4th of July protesters toss burning U.S. flag at Secret Service officer. Clash with pro-Trump demo. Alright. Typical escalation from the left, from the far left, albeit not the whole left, because there are, I've stated many times that I firmly agree that there are normal Democrats still. You know, there's a lot of people that just don't pay attention to politics and have always been Democrats and still have some actual decent morals and values and disagree with what the party supports and who they support, like Antifa. So, yeah, we can't say it's the whole left. The 4th of July celebrations in Washington, D.C. were marred by at least two incidents of flag burning. In one case, protesters allegedly it's not alleged, there's video, threw a flag at an officer while it was on fire. Scuffles broke out in front of the White House after a small group of Revolutionary Communist Party activists, clad in black t-shirts with the "Revolution, Nothing Less" slogan inscribed on them, torched two American flags. In one of the incidents, the far left protest set a flag on fire just outside the White House lawn before allegedly, it's not alleged, there's video. I don't like when they use these words improperly. Drives me crazy. Hurling at a Secret Service officer. Freelancer photographer Marcus J. DePaula, who posted photos of the incident on Twitter, wrote that the officers recoiled in pain from the flames. Another policeman can be seen putting out the flames with the fire extinguisher. Yeah, these flags, a lot of them are made out of like polyester and stuff. Polyester is like a plastic, so it melts. When it hits you, it's not like if a cotton flag were burning and it hits you, you could brush it off real quick. Now, polyester will melt to you, and yes, it hurts. Anybody who's ever been a kid and dripped melting plastic on ants or anything knows that plastic hurts. You can see a tweet here from Marcus DePaula. Communists burn flag in front of White House, toss it on U.S. Secret Service police who recoils in pain. Another USSS member comes with the fire extinguisher and puts it out. And you can see, just from the stills, you can pretty much see what's going on, but I encourage you to watch the videos. They're everywhere. A blurry video of the same incident, filmed from another angle, shows a police officer rushing to the scene, apparently to douse the flames, while loud cheers can be heard in the background. Here's another angle of the flag. Well, I'm not gonna play it because I don't want to get flagged for anything, because God forbid you try to put out any real information to people. They can't stand it. In another incident, a man wearing a red t-shirt with the Make America Great Again slogan charged the protesters to wrestle away another burning flag. In a video of the showdown, he can be seen stomping the flag in a futile attempt to put out the flames. And it was this guy, I believe, right here. So, like I said, I encourage you to look at these videos and watch how the left acts and how they think is a reasonable way to act in a protest. These aren't real protesters. These people they're just disruptors. They're worthless people. The man, reportedly a veteran, then jumps into the crowd, but gets escorted away by a uniformed police officer. Fight breaks out. Like I said, check out these videos. I can't show them because if I do, there's a good chance my video would be flagged. In the meantime, fisticuffs. I like that. In the meantime, fisticuffs broke out between the groups. Secret Service agents could be seen pinning several protesters to the ground. The Secret Service, cited by the Washington Examiner, said 2 people were arrested, including Gregory Johnson. Johnson is a veteran communist activist and a flag burner who won a landmark case versus the state of Texas in 1989, which led to the Supreme Court lifting the bans on desecrating the U.S. flag in 48 out of 50 states. 2 officers suffered minor injuries while handling the suspects and were taken to the hospital. Well, what you can see here is it's getting more violent. The escalation is happening. People, and it's on a little bit on both sides, but it's propagated by the left. That's undeniable. And people, it seems like a lot of just patriotic Americans just can't stand the BS anymore. People are getting fed up. And I truly hope that this does not continue to escalate. I think something needs to be done with Antifa on a federal level. They are classified as a domestic terrorist organization. And we just saw recently that YouTube started to ban some Antifa accounts. Albeit they banned some of the ones that were more moderate, more calculated on the way they speak, and try not to say things that'll generally get them lumped into the terrorist type category. He was more well spoken, and but yeah, there's an escalation happening, and there are also reports now that Antifa are calling for their members to arm themselves with firearms. That's terrifying. We already see how these people act. They're mired in tribalism. They don't care about no one else. They don't care about the rights of anybody else. They are fascist. They are truly fascist people. I don't understand how they could be considered anti-fascist. Look up the definitions. Just look up the definitions of fascism and all that, and you will see that Antifa falls right in line. Falls right in line. There's a few things that because they're not nationalists. That's the big argument that a lot of people give. Oh, but they're not nationalists, so they can't be fascist. Yeah, they can. They can still be fascist without being nationalist. You know, maybe the description of the word fascist needs to change a little bit. You know, maybe instead of grouping all nationalists to be fascists like Antifa likes to do, maybe nationalism should be removed from fascism, from the definition, because these people are truly fascists. They use violence and attacks and practically rioting to get what they want and to silence their opposition. And I am not for that. I hate flag burning, but I respect that person's right to do it. You know, I understand. To me, it is disgusting and it's vile to burn the American flag and all it represents. America is the greatest country on the planet. It's pretty much factual at this point. We're the freest country. We have the best of everything. Just look at the protests. These people, they get to go out there and protest every day. They don't, obviously, most of them don't have jobs. And from what you see and what you hear, they're a bunch of, generally speaking, excuse me, there are a bunch of privileged white college kids that go out and do this. They're self-hating white college kids. They hate themselves. Well, they don't act like they hate themselves, but they hate you for being white. They hate me for being white, which is sad. It's 2019 in America. Why are we still talking about race issues? We are one America. All of us. I don't care what your lineage is. If you're here and you live here and you're legal, we're all one America. Color and race, religion or creed has nothing to do with it. Or at least it shouldn't in my views. Tell that to Antifa though. If you're a proud American and you happen to be white, then you are attacked pretty much immediately. If you're a proud American who is black, I'm sure they'll attack you too. I do believe I've seen video of them attacking black Americans just because they're conservatives. Now this cannot stand, and it probably won't stand. They've done so many just egregious acts that now the federal government is staring at them. And I'm not talking like federal law enforcement agencies, because they've been looking at them for a while. I'm talking about just regular federal workers. I mean, I don't want to say just, you know what I mean. People in Congress, people in the Senate. They've taken notice to these people. And something needs to be done, because they are further escalating. Like I was saying, now they're calling for everyone on the far left to arm themselves with firearms, which is super dangerous because these people are unhinged mentally. They are offended chronically. They are outraged at everything. Anything that represents freedom, they hate unless they can exploit it. And if you have these people in large groups with loaded firearms, someone's gonna pull the trigger. Because they're ignorant. They are not trained, nor will they probably be trained. And I would love to see a left-wing firearm training course. I would love to see what that actually looks like. Because I have a feeling it would be borderline retarded. But, yes, so we are seeing an escalation in the violence and in the rhetoric from these far-left groups. And they have support from far left Democrats. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say their names just because I don't feel like it. I don't like uttering their names. But yeah, so even on America's birthday, these people can't just shut up for once and be nice and be American. No, instead they walk through the streets of the nation's capital chanting pretty much death to America and all this. So, lovely. And only in America could they get away with this without pretty much any consequence. At least the people that burned the flag and tried to throw it on the officers, at least they got arrested. Hopefully they'll be prosecuted within the full extent of the law. But yes, as always, leave your comments. I love to hear you. And like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the flip side.